Hi, I want to take the time to go through a brief account audit right now. We get a lot of clients through that potential clients that we take a look at their existing Google accounts or Facebook accounts just to kind of get a feel for what, previous management and if we can improve the campaign or not. And I would say, 4 out of 5 accounts we look at are pretty poorly managed. But what I want to talk about in this case isn't necessarily a poorly managed account, but just a poor setup, an old school kind of setup. This particular potential client, what's interesting about them is that the campaign's been paused for a while and the previous person that was managing the account just isn't available anymore. So their view of the person managing the account was that the person was doing a really good job, but they just needed someone different because the person wasn't available anymore. Typically, we see that every now and then, but typically we'll see a case of the client just wants better results. So I thought going into this one, I had a couple calls with the client, and there was a lot of the previous person managing it did a really good job and was doing really great. We're just looking for someone because she's not available right now. So you just wonder when you hear that, and then you're waiting for access to the account. There's always a different perspective of when someone like me or someone that's been managing accounts for a long time goes into an account versus when a potential client views their account as or as the account manager is doing a good job. So the account only ran for a few months, and I'm not gonna the specific performance of the account isn't really relevant for this discussion. This is really about account structure. So I go into the account again. I'm using the old interface right now just so I'm not stumbling through on this video. There's one campaign that ran for a few months last year. So if I go into this one campaign, kind of where I start looking at the account, what do I see? Okay, so there's one active ad group in this campaign during this period of time. Go into that active ad group, and I basically just see a mishmash of keywords, a mishmash of match types, just an overall, it's like an account I would have set up back in 2006, maybe. And so what I find really interesting about these is that, there's just so much information online about account structure that to come into an account that has one ad group with all of the keywords in that one ad group, it blows my mind to see account structure. And I'm a very strong believer on foundation. I tell this to prospects and clients all the time. We have a very structured way of taking over an account, whether it's an existing account or a new account. Where we transition to newly built campaigns and how we build our campaigns. And there are differentiators. Some search managers manage it. There are definite variations, but they all kind of have the same common goal of tight ad groups and tight ad copy and tight landing pages. That is, whether some people break up their match types by campaign, some break them up by ad groups, some do the single keyword ad groups. They all have, they're different variations of a very well organized account. Some believe in certain ways than others. So this, so typically the way we work our ad groups is we tie in sort of the title of the ad group, the name of the ad group, to the keywords in the ad group, to the ad copy, all have, share the similar words basically. So, in this one, we've got subscription outdoor box. So when I go into, first of all, I look at this and say, okay, it's in the campaign doesn't specify a match type. The ad group doesn't specify a match type. What's going to be in this ad group? My assumption would be, okay, the keywords in there must be highly relevant to subscription outdoor box. And then I get in here and it's mostly broad match keywords. And, very few of them have anything to do specifically with outdoor boxes. We've got one here that's monthly boxes for men. You've got another one that's gift for hikers. You've got, I don't even know what this one is. You've got cool subscription boxes, which has nothing to do with anything really. You've got, gift box monthly. So you've got these very generic keywords, that could be anything. You've got some that are specific for men. You've got some that are specific to outdoors, but I mean, again, it's just it's a mess. And a lot of these look like they're paused. And then you scroll down here, you've got some phrase match keywords. Oh, and here we've got some broad match modified keywords, and then some more phrase match keywords. So just a complete mess of, not only do the keywords share no similarities with each other in this ad group, but the match types are all over the place. Again, it's just a total, someone just picked a bunch of keywords that they thought were relevant, random match typed them, and threw them in one ad group. And what you get out of this is, you can't tie the ad copy into the match type very specifically. You've got the copy is pretty specific to what they're actually selling, but again, like it doesn't tie well into the keyword. So, if someone were to type in, gift boxes for men, or, monthly crates, there's not a lot of relevancy in the ad copy there. And the way Google kind of works their quality score is, again, click-through rate's a huge factor. So, if someone types in monthly crates or, outdoor gifts or camping gifts, they're expecting to see those keywords in the ad copy, something very relevant to them. So either, whether the gift box itself is relevant to these keywords is, something to test down the road. And again, the performance in the account is actually pretty good. It ran during the holidays, so it's a little bit, skewed whether that could be recreated during the off-season time of year. It might have been a lot of gift purchasing. But I was pleasantly surprised to see the performance of the account. But again, just, your long-term to be able to manage an account with this type of structure, and again, you go into the search terms and you're just going to see, with these broad match keywords, you're going to see everything all over the place. I mean, you've got battle box in here, you've got survival box, hunting boxes, knife subscription box, military subscription box. They're all, again, they're not bad. I mean, rock climbing subscription box, but again, these are very specific. Gun monthly box. Ski subscription box. So you've got, there's definitely some pretty relevant keywords mixed in here, but there's definitely some that, just this one, just box subscription. Just a lot of keywords all over the place. So when I try to, kind of discuss with with a potential client, where, a properly managed account, how things should be managed, again, it's difficult when you're not in this every day and keeping up with the latest news and trends. If you've got someone managing your account, you might think this is a good structure, but, I'll show kind of one example of one of our structures, and we have a specific structure that I've been using for years now, and it does vary slightly depending on the size of the account, the size of the keywords, but generally, a general structure for us is a brand and a non-brand campaign, and then I typically will do my match types in the ad groups. There are cases where we do match types by campaign, but typically on a standard account, we'll do match types by broken into the ad group. So we'll click into one of our ad groups here. And inside of this ad group, you see, typically we'll run broad match modify, which is BMM and exact. There are certain cases we run phrase where the word order is very important. So in this case, we've got 27 ad groups versus one ad group, active ad group in the other campaign. So within these, I think total keywords is and again, there's 3 different match types here. So we've got 173. So there's probably around 60 to 70 keywords in 12 ad groups. We go back here into the account we were just looking at. We've got 1 ad group with 52 keywords versus 60 to 70 keywords stretched over 12, or I guess 150 keywords stretched over 12 ad groups. So again, there's no there's differing opinions on how many keywords should be in each ad group. I mean, we tend to run 5 to 10, but we've got plenty with less than 5, and occasionally you'll see someone more than 10. I think there might be someone here that are more than 10, but again, it's just a different structure. So we'll go into a broad match modified ad group of ours. So again, every keyword here is similar. So the similarity in here is Windows and Mac. So you've got Windows on Mac, run Windows on Mac, Windows for Mac, Windows for Mac free, Windows program Mac. Again, all of the keywords have Windows and Mac. Again, that's how we typically structure it. And then we go into the ad copy, and what do we see? The ad copy should specifically state Windows and Mac, Windows on Mac, Windows Mac, Windows Mac. So the reason we do it is to tie it all together. So if you're searching Windows Mac, you're going to see these keywords bold, and it's going to speak directly to what you typed in. Again, that's just, it helps increase your click-through rate, your quality score, and really just the relevancy that the ad will be to that consumer searching. And you know, that's typically how we set up our accounts. Almost always, the structure we use is that whatever the ad group name is, that those words in the ad group name should be in every single keyword. So if the keyword was run Windows, every keyword, or if the ad group name was run Windows, every keyword in there should have run Windows in it. And that, and then you'll see run Windows in the ad copy, and that tends to be the structure that we use to tie things together. So yeah, if you have any questions, you know, please reach out to us. If you'd like your account reviewed, please reach out to us. Again, like I would say, I mean, 4 out of 5 accounts, you know, have a very poor structure like this one that we audit. You know, it's very uncommon that, you know, we audit an account that I look at and say, oh, you know, that actually looks like the person did a really good job and it's structured really well. So again, it's not, this particular case isn't about performance. But one would assume that if this was, you know, again, if this account actually hit the client's goal during the time period, but imagine if it was set up properly and really managed properly. But thanks for your time.